Everybody, it's Lindsay. I am going to show you a tip for how to save yourself some time when you're working with spreadsheets or databases. And today I'm going to cover what to do if you get data in a text format over here, but you really need it to be in something that is more of a spreadsheet format. This happens to me as an example in my job where I work in supply chain. I get information on our inventory that I might need to update a quantity, there might be a return, or I just might need to add some sort of comments to the items. So when I get a list like this, what I really need is just the SKU number over here so that I can copy it in, and I might need this quantity information as well. So when I go to try to paste it, what's going to happen is if I try to select all of this, it's going to select everything. I can't just select the numbers that I would need to paste into a field of SKU numbers. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to walk through a little scenario. I'm going to give you common ways I think you might try to solve that problem, and then how to do it and save yourself a little bit of sanity and time. Okay? So I'm just going to scroll down here. We're going to be in a scenario where you get a list of data that you need to be pasted, but it's not in a good format. So what are you going to do? So here's your fake email about a returned inventory list. Can you update the database? Now, there's a couple options you can take. You can go back to the person and ask for them to send it to you in a spreadsheet friendly format. That maybe you have people who will do that for you, and maybe you don't. And I will certainly do that if someone sends me a screenshot of the numbers, because that is just not cool. But if not, if you get your information, you can try and just copy the data that you need one at a time, which is where you would just take these numbers and do Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. And if the list is longer than this, that may not be something you want to do. Or if it's something that happens regularly, it just may not be something you want to do. Your third option would be to copy and paste all the data into a spreadsheet and then delete what you don't need so that you can copy that column that you want. And I'm going to show you how to do that, and I promise it's just going to be a couple clicks and you're going to have what you want and nothing more. Okay? So I'm going to take our data set down here, this top one for now, and copy this over to give you an example. So I'm just going to do my Control C here. And I will tell you I am working on a Mac, but I normally work on a PC, especially for work. So this is pretty much exactly the same. So far I haven't had any issues with finding things, and so this is pretty much the same how we're going to do this as well. So now that I've pasted this in, you should have all of your cells selected in column A, which is all of your data. I want you to go to the Data tab, which is a ribbon, a ribbon, and it's going to have an option in the middle. It's like a tools area. You're going to want to click on text to columns. And when you do that, you'll get two options of how you want to deal with your data. Delimited option and a fixed width option. For this example, we're going to go with fixed width because the numbers in our SKU column are actually all the same. So I'll show you what that means in the delimited version, but for now, just know that it looks like everything pretty much lines up, and when that happens, you can use fixed width. It is pretty easy. So you click next, and what's going to happen is it's going to try to figure out what you want in separate columns. Usually does a decent job. You might need to check and make sure. In this instance, I am going to want to not have the commas be in the same column as the numbers, because otherwise I would still need to delete out the commas. And of course there's a number of ways you can do that, but while we're here we might as well just go ahead and take them out. And so you can add another column for the commas by just clicking a line on the left side there, and it'll create another column for you. Okay, so let's just say for some reason it had created a column out here and you don't want that to happen. You would rather have this all in one column. I'm going to show you, you can easily just prevent that column from being created by double clicking on that line, and it'll take that away. So that's just one other thing you might need to know when you're pasting your data in. At this point, I'm good with these columns. I'm going to click next, and here you go. You've got all your columns that are coming in. You get some options up here for how you want to import your data. Do you want to import it as general, text, date? or do not import. I pretty much don't worry about anything except for the do not import column. At this point, I could just click finish and import everything, and that would be fine. I would just have a column with hyphens that I don't necessarily need and a column with commas that I don't necessarily need. So while I'm here, if I just wanted it in a cleaner format, I could just click on this column and say don't import that column. Click on this column, this column, do not import. Then it won't even bring it in, it'll just delete it. So I'm gonna hit finish here, and you can see, after I just widen out my column A, that everything is in here, and now I have all my SKUs and I can paste them into my database. If I want to enter multiple SKUs at a time, I can just copy all of these and get my list to populate for me and not do it one by one. And I can do anything, I can like sum up my values here and see what I'm dealing with, and then you're ready, you're good to go. So that's all for this one. Next one, I'm going to show you what to do if your numbers don't line up and they get a little bit wonky. You still have an option for bringing it in and not having to do it one at a time.